This question comes to us from one of your fans, David, who says, I have seen many of your videos. So they must be quite excited to ask their own question right now, which is quite the question. So let's get right into it.
Of course.
So this is Going Crazy Chris from Birmingham, who says, P.S. I have seen many of your videos. Going Crazy Chris says, my builder died during the construction of our dream home, and it turns out that he inappropriately used our funds for his own personal use. We contacted his wife, and she told us to contact her lawyer. To make things worse, he did not finish the work. The home is still without C of O, certificate of occupancy, for those out there who don't know what that means. And there are a lot of problems that need to be corrected. What can we do now from Going Crazy Chris in Birmingham?
That is one loaded question. I'm sorry for Chris. Sorry for the builder's family too.
Sorry for everybody.
Yeah. Okay. So, wow. Well, the first thing I would want to do, hopefully, I don't know if they said that if the builder had a partner, or if the builder's, entity is going to still continue, that there'll be other people. But by just the question, it implies that it was just the builder and nobody else. Wow. So the first thing is the builder and these people had a contract, right? And builders agreements and construction agreements can be quite lengthy and involved. Sometimes they're not. The ones that are less involved or less detailed create a lot of problems for people. Because when you're putting in hundreds of thousands of dollars into a project, you want everything pretty well documented as to what is supposed to happen at what time.
Yep.
And when money is to be dispersed. I don't know how far along these people are with their project. They do mention C of O, so that means it's towards the end. But the one thing I would want to see is in the agreement, at what point is this builder allowed to take draws that pay the builder his money?
I see.
Okay. So I'd be very careful if somebody said, well, the builder took all my money. Okay, we'd have to get what we call an accounting first and find out, how much money the homeowner provided. Of that money, how much was the builder entitled to take? That's number one. Hopefully these people went through a title company and did stuff related to a proper disbursement, where there are affidavits and waivers of liens, etc. I mean, that's a whole different area, Blair. That's like a whole couple-hour conversation. But when the builder, just, for very briefly, when a builder subcontracts out the work, before he can get paid, he has to get waivers of liens to be able to get the money that's being dispersed by the bank to pay the builder and also the subcontractors, okay? So we definitely want to know what is the payment schedule and what the builder was supposed to get. So before we cast any dispersions on this now deceased individual that he, quote, took the money, we have to see, okay, let's do an accounting.
Sure.
Okay. That's number one. Wow, this is going to be intense. The second thing, and we have these situations, it hasn't been a while, but the second thing is that we will call, should this be my client, if the deceased wife or the widow says call the attorney, I don't know how, what context. Was it call the attorney, or was it, oh, you know what, would you call the attorney? He's taking care of everything. So again, we don't know where that is. But here's the thing. If the individual who owns this building company died and there was nobody else to, continue, it wasn't a perpetual or perpetuated company to keep going, we're going to reach out to that company's attorney. And if it's a small company, if it was just one individual, most likely that individual, the probate, which there probably will be a probate, or an estate that has to be administered, is going to be handled by a probate attorney. And that probate attorney is going to handle the estate of the individual, which is the individual builder. And the money that went to the company should not have to do with anything with regards to the individual, right? Because the company is its own entity and the individual is the individual, except if that builder really did take that money. and did something that he was not supposed to do, and it was in violation of the contract, well, now these homeowners could possibly file a claim against the estate of the builder for any money that they feel was not accounted for properly. You see, okay.
Yep.
There's corporate law in this, like how did the builder conduct its business, right? So you've heard me talk about formation, corporate formation, forming a company, why it's important. Well, if this builder doesn't conduct his corporate entity business, his LLC, let's say, or his C Corp properly, and he then takes money from the company that belongs to these homeowners, is it a company issue? Or could we pierce the corporate veil and go after him individually? And by doing so, we would then file our claims in the probate court. It's going to be very interesting. It's too soon to tell, obviously. What do these people do? Get yourself a good real estate and finance attorney. I know a good one. And you may have to litigate, you may not. You hope you don't have to litigate. But at the very least, what you'd want to do is file a claim of interest with the probate court as a creditor. Okay, it's called a creditor claim. And you make the estate account for that money.
Yep.
And that's where you start.
Okay. Yep, and it is interesting also your point about at what point in time during the draws, etc., was the builder able to take out the funds, and that, you know what I mean? Just speculation, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like that could or could or could not be, an issue here. But, so David always says in his videos, like you can't just go on the context of your question, your call, or your email. Like we do have to see the documentation. We do have to see how it's all laid out. We do have to see, yada, yada. But it is so interesting. It is definitely something that I would be going crazy over as well, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, that's very appropriate.
Yeah.
That type of question, I always tell people, it reminds me of, I use this analogy quite often. It's the circus lady at the circus who spins plates.
Yeah.
And you have all these different legal issues, and they're all plates up in the air that they'll have to be spun, and keep them all in the air. So we're looking at probate, we're looking at corporate law, we're looking at just regular contract law. I will tell you this, I know, again, we're going to go down a little rabbit hole. She said, like, she didn't get her C of O. I will tell you Chris said, I don't know if Chris is a man or a woman, but Chris said that a lot of the work has not been done right. That's a completely different question. But let me just tell you, good luck to them to find a contractor who will do the work to finish the home and warranty the work.
Right. And then the third part of that is, and again, this is just, what Chris says, there are a lot of problems that need to be corrected.
Right.
So this is just such a pickle for everybody
Yeah.
to be in. Like, worst case scenario is you just get left hanging because the person passed. That's just terrible. What a pickle.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Chris, good luck to you. And David, good answer. Good answer.
That's a good one. Like, call me. I don't know if he's call me.
Call David, Chris, that guy over there.
That's a toughie. Yeah.
It is.